Alright, welcome back to this chapter. Now I want to show you how the armatures work in Blender. So now instead of animating the cube, jumping around in place, I want to show you how to use the armature because armature and bones are used to do more advanced character animation. So I'm going to show you how this works first of all, and then I'm going to show you how to deform it, how to edit. Very, very basics. I'm not going to show you anything fancy. I'm going to show you super, super basic rigging so you understand how it works, and then you understand how it works on the character. So without out of the way, let's begin. So first thing I want to do is I want to select my cube. I'm going to press on tab, and now I want to subdivide this cube. So subdivide is a fancy term for adding more faces to the cube because it has very small amounts of faces. And if you have small amounts of faces, you cannot really deform your geometry that well when you're making animations. So I right click and then click on subdivide, which is the first one. Now I can expand this menu, expand the subdivide menu, and then increase the number of cuts. Number of cuts right now is like this, but if I increase it, it's going to double the amount of faces. It's going to double it again and again. And let's set this to something like 8, for example. So I think that should be enough for demonstration. Make sure you have enough faces. Now I'm going to press on tab and go back. So now I have a cube which looks the same, but it has more geometry and it can be deformed way better. Now another thing I would like to do is move this cube up on the floor. So press on G, Z, Control, and then move it up by 1 meter like this. Now what I want to do is create a bone and show you how to create bones in armature. And that's actually pretty simple to do. So if you want to create something, again, you do Shift A. So if I press on Shift A, go down on this armature, click here. I'm going to create a bone, but the reason why we don't see anything is because it's right inside of this cube. Now, if you want to see that, you can actually stay in the solid view and then toggle the X-ray or press on Alt Z. Now, if I press on X-ray view, you can see that I'm going to be able to go to the X-ray view and see the inside of this cube. And now if I scroll in, I'm going to have this bone created, which looks like this. Now, to demonstrate this better, I'm going to go out of the X-ray view and then move it on the side. And the bone looks like this. Now, I can actually take the bone, move it, but I can't do anything else with it. I can scale it, move it, but that's it. So if I want to deform it further, I can enter edit mode by pressing tab. So if I press on tab, it has 2 points, right? It has 1 point here, 1 point here. So if I select this point, you can see that I can move it around, up and down, side by side. I can also select this bone, move it around the same, scale it up, scale it down like this. But what I want to do usually is extrude the bone. So if I select this bone and press on E, and lock it on the Z axis and then move it up, you can see I'm able to extrude the bone as much as I want. And that's how basically joints and rigs are created. So this basically can act as an arm, act as a hand, as a full hand system, for example. But let me show you how to actually deform the cube with this bone in a simple way. So enter the X-ray view again, enter the front view by pressing numpad 1. And now I'm going to go to edit mode. So press on tab to go inside the edit mode. Now make sure you have the top point selected, not the bottom. I'll leave the bottom as it is, right? And leave this as it is as well. You don't need to change the appearance of the bone. So select the top portion of the bone, press on E, lock it on Z axis, and then move it up. Move it up so that it goes out of the cube slightly, so that we're able to see how it looks, right? Move it up, place it like this, and that's it. Now disable this X-ray view, and now we have this bone created, which is sticking out of the cube, which is exactly what we want for now. Now, if I want this bone to appear in front of this cube all the time, I can select this bone, click on this icon, which is a stick figure icon, then expand the viewport display, and then check in front so that the bone is always visible. Even if it's inside the cube, it's still visible. So that's exactly what we want. So make sure you check in front. So now let me show you how to deform the cube. Now, what I would like to do right now is first select the cube and then select the bone. So shift right click select. If you have trouble selecting the bone, you can actually select the cube and then Alt Shift left click, and then it's going to give you a menu to select either the cube or bone. Alt left click is very good for objects which are close to each other. So if you have two objects which are close to each other, you can do that. But you don't have to do it with the armature. So I can directly select the cube, Shift left click select the bone, and then press on Control P. And now I have this menu, but all we need to do is go down to armature deform, and then click on with automatic weights. So parent with automatic weights. Now, if I select this bone group, you can see what happens. If I press on G, the cube is going to follow it because it's parented, which is exactly what we want. But let me show you how to do more advanced animation, how to stretch the cube from side to side. So to do that, we need to enter what's called a pose mode. By far, we only learned the object mode, which is this one, and we learned edit mode, which you can access by pressing tab, like this. But we also have a third mode, which is called a pose mode. A pose mode is used with bones and with characters. So you cannot enter pose mode with a cube, but you can enter pose mode with bones. So I'm going to select the bone group right here, and then go to object mode, and then switch this to pose mode, which is the third one right here. A quick way to access this pose mode is by selecting bone and clicking Control Tab. So Control Tab to exit this, Control Tab to enter it. That's what I use all the time. And now let me show you a cool thing. If I select this bone, if I rotate this, you can see the cube is going to deform with it, which is exactly what we want in this case, because I want the cube to follow the bone. If I select the bottom bone, it's going to move it. If I scale it, it's going to scale it with it, and so on. If I scale the up bone, it's going to do the same thing. So that's a pretty cool way to quickly create an armature and experiment with it. I can rotate this, twist this, move it, and just do whatever I want with it, right? So that's a pretty cool and neat way of doing this. So that's a very, very basic way of rigging something simple and showing you how rigs work. And character rigs are more complex. They have way more bones. But once you get the hang of it, you're going to have an easier time of animating it. In the beginning, it might be a bit complicated. But don't worry, in this course, I'm going to explain everything step by step. So if you follow along and practice, you're going to be fine. Now, one thing I want you to note as well is that if you're working with complex character rigs, if you download something online, the bones might not look exactly like this. This is the default appearance of a bone. So if I select this, and then go inside the stick figure properties again, you can see we have a display as option. Now, I don't know how to spell this. I think it's octaedral. I have no idea, but this is basically the default appearance of the bone. But if I select this, I can change it. For example, I can select B bone, and now it's going to change the appearance, and it looks different. If I select this again, changes to stick, it's going to appear as stick, but it's basically going to work the same. If I go to pose mode, it's going to do the same thing, but it's only going to change the appearance. It's kind of like changing the keyframe appearance right here by pressing R. So I press on stick, go to wire, I can change it to wire, I can go to envelope, and so on. So keep that in mind. Different rigs will come with different bone shapes, different colors of the bones, and so on. So that's what I want you to keep in mind so that you're not confused. So feel free to practice with this, enter pose mode, go out of the pose mode, and so on. And I will see you in the next lecture.